Someone needs to cancel MCR. Massive balls. Baked beans mashed on a wrap. I think this is truly the most unhinged way I've ever started a vlog and probably ever will start a vlog or any video. I was just on a walk with my dog and it's been pouring rain here recently, like the last couple of days. It started pouring again. It only ever goes for like 5 minutes max, not very long. And we were standing in like a little park thingy under a tree waiting for the rain to pass, and I saw a little rat, mouse, something, a little animal on the ground, and I got really sad because I thought it was dead. And then I looked closer and it was breathing. And if you didn't know, I had rats for I think 10 years. I haven't had any in about 3 now, and I recently said that I really missed having rats. I looked closer and the rat was in fact not dead. I keep saying she, it's probably a she because it doesn't have massive balls. She was breathing, but in like really, really bad shape. And I had to bring her home. I think she is a wild rat who is just in bad shape. So I took her home and she's currently in here with a heating pad underneath. She is in this towel. I'm going to try to see if I can get like a tiny little glimpse of her. I don't want to disturb her too much. She's wet, she's cold. She is moving a little bit, like every so often. Yeah, I guess I rescued a tiny little baby rat because I know there is a possibility that she might pass. We're not going to think about that. We're not putting that thought out into the universe. But yeah, at least she's comfy and cozy while she recovers, and she has like a nice warm little bed, maybe at least for a couple of days. Sorry, I keep moving out of frame. She keeps moving, so I kind of want to see what's up. Yeah, that's hello and welcome to a new vlog. I rescued a wet, possibly dying rat. So unfortunately, the rat didn't make it. She passed away a little bit after I filmed that last clip. And like, I knew it was a possibility the whole time. I know it's like the circle of life. Everything has to die one day. But I still had like a little cry about it. I lit a candle for her. I gave her a piece of dried strawberry, one for her, one to share. Sorry about the smoke. I lit some incense. Yeah. You know, it is part of life. It was bound to happen. It's still always a little sad. It is also a full moon. So I did all my full moon shenanigans. I'm still feeling a little sad. I don't have much to say. I'm probably just gonna go to sleep. And yeah, tomorrow's a new day. It is the next day. I'm just about to eat a little lunch, but I wanted to show you my outfit. Genuinely, the only downside to the way I rearranged my room is I don't have a nice spot to show my outfits anymore. I guess this works, but like, actually, I wore my Converse with it, but I don't wear shoes inside. Anyway, this is the outfit. And it's my, like, can you see? They're my boot cut, dark wash denim, Hollister jeans of all things. And I really love this outfit. I can't even tell you why. It's just giving like, especially with the Converse, it's just kind of giving like artsy, misunderstood high school something from like a coming of age film from like 2004. I just threw this on to go buy wine because I'm meeting up with my friends tonight and we're gonna have like a little wine day, evening, night, I don't know. I'm seeing my friends and I bought wine for it. But I might wear this actually because it is so cute and it's so comfortable. I don't know, I always tend to like feel the need to be a little not overdressed, but like fancier than what the occasion calls for is like maybe a good way to put it. When I do go out and do things, my face is cut off the entire time, but I can't stand like this. Okay, and now it's to whatever. I might just keep wearing this. I'm not entirely sure because the jeans are like a tiny bit too big and I feel like I'm gonna have to keep pulling them up. And I don't love like being out in a bandeau top, even though I'm wearing like a bra with straps. Whatever, we'll see what I end up wearing. I also don't know if I like my hair like this. I kind of want to take out my extensions because I don't like how they look when they're curly or wavy, and I feel like they always look a little stringy and sparse when I have them straightened. And it's like fine if I only have a little bit at the front, but then I'm like, what's the fucking point of extensions? I don't know. I like personally a lot of volume and like a lot of hair. I know this is like, if this were my actual hair, I think it would be like a normal density. Yeah, I'm gonna eat my I have like the lunch snack of champions, which is Greek beans mashed on a wrap. They were about to go bad and I didn't feel like cooking anything, so I'm gonna eat that and then continue thinking about what I'm gonna do with my hair. I do feel a bit better today. Not like 100% fully there, but we're getting there. We are getting there. I love this blowout style. I feel like I might need like 1 or 2 tapes up here to save the whole thing. Anyway, I'm gonna go eat. I can worry about my hair later. ended up staying out quite late, and then I needed like a day to kind of decompress, recharge what little I have of my social battery. But it was so fun. It was so fun. And I love my girlies. I also need to yap about My Chemical Romance. I need to preface this by saying they are my favourite band. They have been for years and years and years, like genuinely since I was like 11 years old. So I am aware there is quite a bit of like a parasocial relationship going on there. I'm trying to kind of get past that because the reality is I do not know these men. I probably never will know these men. I will never meet them. I will never talk to them. And they are far more likely to be completely different than the image I have of them that I curated in my mind over like my formative years. When I got into MCR and all the emo bands that I really liked, I didn't have friends. So I was on the internet. I made friends there. I didn't have friends in real life. And I also obviously formed like parasocial relationships. Why is that so difficult for me to say? I also formed parasocial relationships with the band members of bands I listened to, and I got past that and realized they are all just fucking people I don't know, with pretty much everyone except of course MCR, because they were like my longest and strongest band obsession. Yeah, so that get to the fucking point. I'm aware that I don't know these men. I don't know their personal views, political views, anything like that. I have already talked like the two people I know who are still like interested in MCR in the year of our Lord 2025. I have already talked their ears off about this, but it's just like something that I keep thinking about, and I need to yap about it and like put it out into the universe, and then I will be okay. For anyone who's not an MCR fan, they recently kicked off their Black Parade revival tour a couple of days ago. I know it runs under like a different name, like the whatever. I don't really care. They recently kicked off their tour, and they have also, over the years, especially in the beginning, curated this kind of image of, I think activist is taking it too far, but they have curated a certain public image of being like progressive, might be a good word to describe them. I wouldn't go as far as saying they ever really made any like actual political statements or done any like actual activism, at least not like in the public eye. Again, I do not know these men, but they have curated more of like a progressive left-wing or left-wing adjacent image, right? I promise I'm just about to get to the point. I feel like especially MCR fans are known to not have like an ounce of nuance in their bodies, and they are very quick to defend whatever the members of this band have done, and to also demonize anyone who dares criticize them. It's like what actually happened, you might be wondering, because I don't know if anyone watching this like gives a fuck about MCR, to be so real. Basically their tour kicked off, and they have like a very theatrical show, and in between songs they're doing like some theatrical stuff. And the whole like overall theme of the thing, there's like a little bit of a backstory about there being like a fictional dictator whose favorite band is the Black Parade. And so he like, I don't know, brought them back to life or something, because when the Black Parade tour, the first run of that was over, they declared the Black Parade is dead. And now they're, I guess, back from the dead. I don't fucking know. I did not go that deep into it. But there are like overarching themes of like, I guess you could say, political commentary. I've seen clips of certain things that I found very distasteful. There was one thing where there was a public vote and people didn't know what they were voting for. And then after the vote was over, they had these 5 figures with bags over their heads and they got executed by firing squad. And they also showed these figures like dropping dead on the big screens. I thought it was in very, very bad taste considering what's going on in the world right now, because it was very graphic, which was the first thing that I saw and that I thought was kind of fucked up. And over the last couple of days, I just kept seeing more and more things that I thought were like weird, but I understand that they're doing it for like, you know, shock value, essentially. The other thing that I also would like to point out that I thought was tasteless also was there was a clown singing one of their more like silly fun songs. I think it was Blood. And while singing, the guy took off his clown suit and revealed like a bomb vest that then at the end of the song went off, which is also one of those things that I found pretty tasteless. Again, regarding everything that is going on in the world, especially coupled with the band's combined silence on all of the wars going on. I think there's one member who sometimes posts about semi-political stuff, but it's very vague, like war bad, Trump stupid things. You know what I mean? It's nothing concrete, and I find it very spineless. I forgot to add earlier, and after the whole firing squad thing, the singer said, "Thank you for participating in democracy." Something along those lines. Like, I understand the thought behind it, right? I understand the symbolism of like voting for something and getting something else, and like voting corrupt politicians into office and like not knowing what you're voting for and blah, 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 and all those things. I understand that that is the thought behind it. I personally think it should have been executed differently. I am also mostly talking about the firing squad thing, because the whole clown thing, I don't think was needed, period. You know, he could have like, if the guy was supposed to die at the end of the song, he could have like slit his throat, stabbed himself in the stomach and like bled to death or something. He did not need to blow himself up. The past couple of years, like every year, there's been a bomb threat or a shooting or like a bombing at a huge concert. Last year, it was Taylor Swift in Vienna. There was the Manchester Arena bombing, I think. Just very, very, very bad taste, very poorly thought out. I went off on a tangent. I think the execution could have been done differently and should have been done differently. They could have fallen through a trapdoor. They could have been taken away by some figure, something. The execution by firing squad was in extremely, extremely bad taste, period. And so fucking tone deaf. And of course, I've seen people try and defend this online because that is just how MCR fans are. And in their eyes, no one in the band could ever do anything wrong ever in their entire lives. And they will argue that it's art, and they will argue that it's social commentary, and they will argue that it's political commentary. And you can do that all you want. But in my opinion, to be able to claim something as political commentary or a social commentary, you need to actually say something about it and not just throw shock value at people's faces. I still don't think they should have done this regardless, but it would have been an amazing opportunity to use their platform to at least say something about the political state of the world. But they didn't. And that is where I am kind of disappointed. Again, that is where like the parasocial relationship thing comes in, because again, I don't know these men. It is far more likely that they have different political views than I do. It is very likely that they do. I'm not even surprised by how the fans are reacting to it. I am, however, don't kill me for this joke, but like disenchanted. And I also have to say, I think the main reason this hit me as hard as it did is because I saw it, like the first time I saw anything about it, I was a little hungover, and I was kind of feeling like I was being crushed by the weight of the world. And I just can't stop thinking about it. I haven't been able to stop thinking about it the last couple of days. I feel like someone needs to cancel MCR at this point. There's so many things that other people and other bands would have gotten cancelled for, but because it's MCR, I feel like people are making excuses because they are their favorite band, and they are also my favorite band. Do I actually want them to be cancelled? No. Low-key, to be completely honest, I wish they'd stayed broken up, but that is not part of this conversation. I don't have a good ending to this. I just really needed to ramble about this because of how disappointed I was and am, and probably will be. I just needed to rant about MCR. In the year of our Lord 2025, also my canopy fell down and the flowers keep getting caught in my hair, but this is like the most comfortable position I've been in all fucking day. Is that it? I think that's it. Thank you for your attention. If you're also an MCR fan, which maybe I've managed to attract some in the wild, I don't know. Let me know what you think of the whole thing. I think I'm done now. I think I've ranted enough about this for it to leave my mind and for me to be okay about it. Anyway, thank you for hanging out with me today. I hope you enjoyed whatever the fuck this was, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.